My name is Chinedu Ikedieze. I'm an actor, an Hollywood actor. Well, as a Nigerian, of course, everybody works hard. I work hard. I have my routine. I have the way I've, fashioned my daily activities. You know? I do what is right. The hustling continues. Everybody hustles, So if I have anything to do, of course, I go and do it. If I don't have anything to do, I stay home. Why waste my phone when I can just relax at home and use my phone, use my laptop to reach the wider world, So that's how I've been, been maneuvering my challenges, especially the challenges we face as Nigerians. It has not been easy. I mean, everybody's complaining. A is complaining, B is complaining, C is complaining. So, but like I said, as we Christians, they always tell us that in every situation, you give thanks to God.
My name is Mrs. Onwochie. I'm a civil servant in the academia. The skeleton of the hardship we're facing lately in our country is mostly the fuel price hike. It has affected everything. It has affected everything down to the most basic need of the citizens, which is food. For you to cope in a country like ours, you need to do a lot of planning, you need to do a lot of budgeting, you need to do a lot of cutting down, you need to prioritize. You cut down the excesses, sometimes not just the excesses, you might cut down on things you need, but you just have to know which one should come first.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're seeing this from. My name is Charles Inojie. I'm a filmmaker, an actor, producer, director. Yes, what else do I do? Because at the end of the day, at the end of this race, the most important achievement would be one's ability to put food on the table. I have also learned not to put all my eggs in one basket, because like our people would say, they pass one road, enter market. Another variant to that same adage would be that they stay one place, watch masquerade. Then I would add what one of my bosses always tell me, Charles, wait till you go they find for cigar, now they smoke. So what that means for me is that whatever else that is legitimate, decently legitimate, in the form of a business that can earn me a few extra kobo here and there, yes, I am in. Therefore, I would add that I am a serial entrepreneur.
My name is Francis Onwochie. I'm a stage and screen actor, film producer, and motion picture consultant. This is my 40th year practicing in the creative industry in Nigeria. Different people have different coping mechanisms. I am a bit privileged. I work across the various sectors of the industry, and so I get by. But of course, the challenges continue. Challenges of transportation, challenges of energy, challenges of infrastructure, so many things, food, water, shelter, everything. But one manages to get by, even in the difficult circumstances.
My name is Matthews. I'm a journalist and a filmmaker. Yeah, basically with the very present situation of things skyrocketing, prices going up, and never comes down. That is one thing that is actually very paramount in this country. The law of gravity said whatever goes up must surely come down. But it's not so in Nigeria. Everything that goes up keeps skyrocketing until almost it will hit the roof.
My name is Abaka Joseph Ugochukwu. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a filmmaker. I live in Lagos. from Anambra State, Okuzu to be precise. I'm coping like every other Nigerian, because we are facing a very tough moment at this point in time. The Nigerian economy is not a friendly one because the country is not producing anything, and that was the reason why Peter Obi said he wants to take the country from consumption to production. So, but as a Nigerian, I'm coping like every other one. There is no magic to it, We are all believers. We believe in God. We are crying unto God to help us, to sustain us, and we always remind God His words that cannot fail. When He says, "When men are cast down, for us it shall be upliftment." So, and God has been faithful. God has been doing a tremendous. How we survive, we can't even tell. But the truth is that we see ourselves moving from one day to the other, and overcoming all the challenges that that comes across our way, and it's a miracle. If I have to use the language, because life itself is a miracle. For us to be alive in the land of the living, it is not by our doing, it is the doing of the Lord. And He who has kept us, there is a purpose. He must take care of us. So, like every other Nigerian, we are surviving. I don't believe in Japa because I've Japa'd in the past. So how long can we continue to Japa? If we all Japa, who is going to take, who is going to stay back and savage, this country? So some people must be around, people like us, die hard.
Well, my name is Richard Mangwo. I'm a lawyer and the president and founder of Crusade for Justice, a human rights advocacy. Well, the issue of coping does truly not arise because I believe over the years, Nigerians have grown to be perfect managers of the fallouts of bad governance. So I can effectively tell you authoritatively too that bad governance is cultural in Nigeria. So we are getting used to it and we have adjusted to it a long time ago. We are moving from one monumental disaster to another. So it's becoming traditional, it's becoming cultural, and we are coping.
My name is Obina Osisi. I'm an IT consultant. I build networks, IT infrastructure, and usually basically IT solutions. As a Nigerian, there's a lot going on in the country at the moment. It's the toughest it's been indeed since I've been born, and I do not know if there's any average Nigerian citizen that isn't going through a very torrid time, a very difficult time in the country as we speak. So I might as well speak for myself, but it's on the general. I think every average Nigerian is going through the most gruesome time of their lives at this point in time. With the things like basic food, shelter, fuel price hike, the cost of petrol, and major challenges. I understand the basic principle of survival, which is man's first, law, natural instinct, which is a law of self-preservation, which is a law of self-survival. So you have to look for new methods that you haven't tried before in order to mitigate these challenges, like cutting down on your desires, things which your fetishes basically, and things which you crave for, which you usually would not bother about how you spend, but you just now have to make sacrifices to be able to accommodate the basic things like food. I eat once a day. I've started a new diet called the carnivore diet. So I've been on the carnivore diet for about 4 months now, eating only meat. And although it's more expensive now eating meat, buying meat, especially the cow, goats, and all those tree ruminant animal meat. So I only eat once a day mostly. Remaining afloat is non-negotiable. You just have to, and you just have to find a way to stay afloat. So in my industry, I usually put up markups of 15-20%, but right now my markups go as much as 35 to 40% because that's if I have to. Cut below that, I do. But to stay on the safer side is the only thing to do because the policies keep changing, and you don't know when the new policy will kick in and threaten your very business model, which the price of things which you've given out, or maybe with a 20% markup. For instance, importation duties take it, make it higher, so you might not be able to afford to replace or replenish the stock which you have, so you just have to go higher.
My name is Ejike Asiegbu. I'm an actor, film producer, director. I'm also a media consultant. What else can I say? The problems are bound to happen, and I'm not living outside the space of this entity called Nigeria. But we try to cope. I'm doing my best to have my sanity, of course. Mental health is real. I'm trying to absorb difficulties and challenges, and I try to overcome them by remaining sane, particularly with the moment of time in Nigeria. Well, I'll take it as a come. That's what I can say. I know problems are endless, but my mindset is we will overcome. And I keep overcoming them by the special grace of God.
For everyone out there, I would say if you are alive, you're winning already. Your past does not define you, so let the past go. Focus on today. Live in the present, because today will build your tomorrow. Make something beautiful out of every new day. Smile, laugh. Something beautiful out of your new day. Keep a positive mindset, and I encourage us to live a healthy life. If you're out there and you need to shed some weight, please do. If you're out there you need to quit some habits, do it already. It will help you. While you're living healthy, keep a positive mindset. Drink a lot of water. By the way, I drink so much water. I drink water like my life depends on it. So it doesn't hurt. It makes you healthier. So drink a lot of water. Keep a positive mindset.
Of course, most naturally, I am thankful. I grew up as somebody who took quite a good interest in sports, and particularly for the age I am at now, we must have the discipline like I have had to continue some basic exercises daily if possible, and if it's not possible, maybe every other day. And so I take long walks to the National Stadium, as I have done today. I do it fairly regularly. Then I also discovered that at some certain age you have to cut down a lot of things like eating habits. Most of us think we eat, every time, heavy meals. One has to try to cut down that, and particularly eating in succeeded in achieving my aim, like so many of my colleagues have, but I'm doing my best and gradually cutting down, and over time I'll get to a situation where I will think this is a perfect state I want to be. So yes, there are obviously things that have changed in my own systems and scenarios, and I'm thankful for it. At least that I have the information to be able to change, and that has been very effective. Effective because in the last 10 years, I can easily say that beyond going for mere checkups, I don't have business with medical doctors. And so I am thankful for that, and I also believe that God has been kind to me. So yes, so this is where I am.
It's quite sad because we have to adjust to the sad realities of the time. It's sad because we have to adjust to this hardship. The most basic things are no longer basic. For you to afford a decent meal now, then you're rich. For you to afford a good apartment, you're very rich. But we still have to do it anyways. So for you not to drown in this time, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. A lot of things will need to go for the other. We have to sacrifice a lot at this time. You prioritize and do the most important ones while others are standing by until you're able to do them. So it's very difficult now, especially for adults, especially for parents.
One, my dependence is on God. My survival is on God, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who created the resources. It's not by my power, it's not by my mind. Sometimes you begin to imagine and ask yourself, how am I able to survive? How am I able to meet up with these demands? I think God factor comes in. When God factor comes in, I think favor, it can connect you to other favor. And you just find out that you're living a life that you never expected, but the grace of God has been able to see you through. I think God factor plays a very major role in the sustenance and existence of this life.
Prices of foodstuffs they have escalated to the brim. Price of things, everything, the prices of things have changed from what they were a few months ago or even last year. Price of things are very expensive. Okay, we were just me and my wife and my brother, we were just talking about the cost of even purchasing ordinary decoder. DSTV now, the price from 19,000, someone was telling me for on TV to 50,000 or thereabouts on a minute. So the prices of things have skyrocketed, You can't, the things you used to buy for 200 naira, 300, 500 naira now today, they are about 1,000 plus. Everything, the price of things have changed in the market. And somebody was asking me, because I complained about something, and the person was like, are you also complaining? Of course I'm complaining. So if I can complain, what happens to the average Nigerian, to the lower citizens? I mean, the people that do not have the wherewithal to take care of themselves, they're vulnerable ones. You can see. So we're just managing. Now, if you used to waste food before, no more. You have to, if you remain, you have to go and warm it, put it in the fridge or freezer. The next day, warm it and eat. Yes. Nobody throws food around or waste food anyhow now, especially in my house.
Yeah, we are staying afloat because we are living in the era of social media where everything is open. We are in the age of Aquarius, age of knowledge, age of learning. So we at this period, at this point in time, exercise physically, being physically fit is part of the game. Then eating healthy and Most times I do more of therapy, green teas and all waters, just to stay alive, because the truth is that at this point in time one can't afford to be sick, because we know to go to hospital it costs fortune, and I think that is really something that we should take serious in the Nollywood industry. Watch what we eat, then do more of herbs. If you can't afford the foreign green teas, these green teas are all around you: bitter leaf, scent leaf, water leaf, name them. They are all products of green tea. These are the things that the West package for us, and we buy. We are dying to say I'm taking green teas, but we have them locally. With these things, it detox your system. It keeps you fit, it is just like the Bible says that a living dog is better than a dead lion. It is when you are alive you will actualize your dream. You will become that person that you really want to be.
I don't drink that much any longer. I don't really do too much sports. I play video games more than anything else. I've always done that since I was 5 or 6 years old. So it's I used to play tennis as a kid. Played major tennis championships with people like Nnamdi Hiramanko and the Lagos Island Tennis Club as a kid. So I still play tennis once in a while, but I haven't played in a very long time, probably in the last 5 to 6 years. So I think as for me, I think this is my carnivore diet. I've lost. I used to be 110 pounds. Right now I weigh 84. So I'm about the same weight I was when I was 24, 23. And it feels very good.
Like I said earlier, you may do with actually what is obtainable. Because of transportation is crazy. Your take home might not be able to take you to the bus stop. Food items is skyrocketing on a daily basis. And basically these are basic necessities of life. Food, shelter, and clothing, and transportation. The fuel of transportation, the increase in fuel has actually caused a lot of inconveniences. Everything you do economically ravaged within the scope of the fuel increase. And it makes every item has skyrocketed price-wise. So what do? I try to live within my means. I try to curtail the excesses of extravagant living to make do with actually those things that are necessary, vitals to life. What do? It's not every function I attend now, because if you consider the fuel consumption, those days when you can drive from here just to see a friend, probably in Lekki from Surulere and all that, you try to curtail if you have to go there every day. If it's not necessary, those trips are not necessary, you cut them off. Thank God for telephone, for cell phones. You could do some of your businesses or some of the things you need to do that would have attracted you to actually move from one thing to another with some fuel. You can consult and contrast some things on the phone. So you have to I've been able to devise a means to be able to cut my excesses, to be able to curtail with those things that I consider as extravagant, those things I consider as luxury, that are not very, very, useful to my existence, so to say. So I pick on those basic things that are of basic necessities to my life. When I say my life, everything that has to do with you. It's not necessary that every time you got to go to the market and buy yourself a designer wear anymore. It's not even every time you go probably and go for lunch in very exorbitant or very cozy air. You could do that once in a while. manage the little resources you've got. It will be very, very hard because you have a lot of bills staring on you. So you curtail those excesses so that you can meet up with the needs of your necessity to life.
Explain it. Just explain how I do. Manage what I have. No more, nobody's stressful anymore. And so on and so forth. I try to take very light food in the morning. Sometimes, even though they say it's not good to skip breakfast, sometimes I may not even remember to eat. But what I do in the morning, I have my water, drink my water, I eat what I call brunch, probably around 12. Sometimes between 12 and 1 or 11, 12. After 12, eat my brunch. Then eat another time between 6 and 8. But they're always light. If I even have to do swallow, it has to be oat milk, something light that I can easily dissolve. Though I don't go to bed on time, I go to bed late. I go to bed around 12, between 12 and 12:30. So before then, of course, I dissolve to so.
Well, first and foremost, I must point out the fact that, when you're driving in a very smooth place, you don't remember that your car has an auxiliary gear. But in today's Nigeria, if you want to come out of your garage, you have to engage the auxiliary gear. So to survive in a very hostile, very vicious, and wickedness-driven environment like Nigeria, you must be permanently on auxiliary gear. So that is what everybody does. Everybody is on auxiliary gear. And that is why when there are crashes, those crashes are very violent. The economic situation in Nigeria has compelled everybody to die. Since everybody is dying now, as a natural fallout of bad governance. Yeah, I'm a fitness freak, so I don't know about others. I've always been on the road in terms of sports. But you see, the economic situation has compelled dieting. What I may call spiritual hunger. They are seeing spiritual hunger as part of dieting. So that's what everybody is doing.
To imbibe, and when I say customized, a lot of barriers to curtail some of these excesses that actually consume your resources. It is expedient that you do this because what are some of the things you get involved with? You get to keep shape, get yourself into exercising, most times go for aerobics, and then generally exercise yourself. And then dieting, very important. Aside from the economic restraint, and then putting more money into your pocket is equally very enhancing to your health. When you diet, you keep your shape, you keep your health in shape, and then not too vulnerable to attacks and diseases. So that keeps you away from sicknesses because you don't even have enough money to actually take care of the immediate things you need to do. So imagine if you have to fall ill, that will compound the problem. Considering the health situation in this country, when you are sick and you go to the hospital, the billing is crazy. So what do? You try to really diet, keep yourself fit, and then look up to God, and then curtail some of those excesses that drains your finances and your pocket.
How do I cope with the challenges of coping with the average Nigerian out there? Well, for me, I think the life I've chosen, the career I've chosen, the day I elected to be who I am today was the day I gave up certain rights, so to speak. Yes, because I chose to toe this path, it therefore suggests that I was prepared for the journey. Yes. For instance, as a popular actor, particularly for someone like me who has a bent towards the comic genre, there are those of our fans out there who do not even believe that I have the capacity to feel. I am supposed to 24 hours of the day just wear a smile wherever I go, whether I am happy or not, whether I have eaten or not, it does not matter. I just wear a smile, just make people laugh, well, no matter what I am individually passing through. So initially that was a challenge. But I got to realize much later as we went on this journey that there was nothing I was going to be able to do about that. These persons don't care. They don't care what I am going through. All they care about is that this is that guy that makes us happy. Whenever we see him, whenever we have the opportunity to interface with him, he should just do that job. And that is it. Sometimes I'm at an event with my wife, and fans will just rush to beat us and give the phone to my wife to snap. First, they won't even ask, who is this beautiful lady by your side? Is she your PA, your manager, your wife? They don't care. Please, snap us. And for her too, she too has come to realize that there is nothing she too can do about that. So she does that job effortlessly. So what I'm saying in essence is that when you know the rules of engagement in whatever sphere of human endeavor that you have found yourself, you just try to play by those rules. And one of the rules for me is that I am a celebrity today because people celebrate me. Therefore, I also owe them, that respect. Giving them a smile whenever I see them, whenever they see me. So it isn't much of a challenge. Of course, there are those who believe that as an actor, you are probably richer than the president of the country. They believe that you should be able to solve everybody's problems in Nigeria. For instance, someone would go secure an admission in the UK to probably do a master's or a PhD, something running to 18, 20, 25,000 pounds as the case may be, and wants me to pay. And their argument will always be that I'm your fan, I've been watching your film since I was small. And the only way I can compensate them now is to come and pay 20,000 pounds so they can go get a PhD. It would never feature in their thought to ask if I do have a PhD myself, one, if I've ever been to the UK too, if I've ever seen anything close to 20,000 pounds. So those are the kind of things, but you just have to understand that this is how the mindset of the fans, I mean, that's how it works. There isn't much you can do about it. It's a funny space. But God is helping us to cope. Initially, I always took offense when people see me and say, see that mumu man, hey, come. Don't be that mumu man with the fool himself for fame. And I wonder how that I am supposed to take that as a compliment. But over the years, I just got to realize that when I saw this thing be, when they call you mumu, I say, my brother Namio, I don't be that mumu man when they do film be that. My brother Namio, so that helped to completely insulate me from the anger pangs that would have risen from those experiences. But today we are very fine and very at home with our fans. Anything when they call me, I answer them. Idiot, sir. Fool, ma. Mumu, yeah, person. It's tough for those of us who are comedians or maybe comic cactus, as you may want to call it. Whereas someone may see, a fan may see someone like Ramsey, oh Ramsey, I love you, I love you, I'm your fan. Someone can just see me, run up to me and, give me a huge spank on my back. Idiot, they crazy. Something they make us laugh. They see your face. Mumu, get out! It's not there. And all those are supposed to be compliments. But like I said, it's a life we chose. So what can you do?
It's not easy, I must tell you, particularly for parents, for us who, our kind of job is not a steady one. It comes once in a while, unless one has to be creative, of course. Apart from my acting, I'm a businessman. I shoot documentaries as well as other businesses that I do. But nothing seems to be moving. But like I said, we must give glory to God from time to time. The jobs come in trickles, but we sustain and maintain that tempo and do what we have to do. We'll look for more creative ways of getting around and about the problems. The problems don't ever cease, so we just keep moving on. For me, what I have observed and what I have been doing with my wifey, which also thanks to her for also reminding me, I don't eat once it's past 7 p.m. And the quantity, because sometimes it's not about the quantity of food that you eat, it's the quality of food. And reducing the size. The size matters a lot. Whatever one has to take, let's take the one that is enough for the body, to work on. It's not a kind of heap of food that one eats.
I champion a wellness platform where we encourage you to stay healthy and maintain healthy weight. We give you the support you need if you have to lose weight and maintain it. We encourage you to create a good relationship with your food. Of course, if you don't have a good relationship with food, you eat whatever you see and you eat anyhow and anytime. So you need to create a healthy relationship with your food. Some people are addicted to food even without knowing it. We hold you by the hand and we show you the line between gluttony and hunger. I've also written a pamphlet on wellness and weight loss. This pamphlet was better at a time where I needed to lose a lot of hormonal weight. Having gained so much weight during a health challenge, I needed to lose the weight. It was better at a time where I could do little but had to lose the weight. So Demystifying Weight Loss is the pamphlet where you get little things you need to do to lose the weight, no matter how many kilograms of weight you need to shed. I work out. Yes, I work out. I do a lot of walking too. I get at least 10,000 steps in a day. No, I didn't just start walking 10,000 steps. It started with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Voila, we're here, 10,000 and more. So you start gradually and you can pick up the pace later.
To be honest, to be frank, any morning that I am not walking, you are most likely to find me doing exercises. They are not tedious exercises. I just walk maybe 1 or 2 kilometers to the National Stadium. Walk around. I mean, sometimes that I can, I add a little bit of jogging, and maybe after that, I can go to a gym and, play with some weight. Yes, for the first 2, maximum 3 hours in the morning, I just subject myself to that. And I try to do that persistently and consistently whenever I have time. And so this is a call for people. You don't have to be as old as I am. When you are young, it's even better when you are young, so that it can become part of your daily living. This is a call, and all of us must subject ourselves to one manner of exercise a day. 1 hour, at the minimum 1 hour. I try to do 2-3 hours when I have the time. When I don't have the time, I'm just sneaking that 1 hour and do it. if it's 30 minutes that you're able to do every day, do it and you'll be happy. You'll be happy about it. You'll live well, you'll sleep well, you'll get less sick, and hopefully you'll live longer.
As a Nigerian, what do? We're born into the system. And we didn't choose to be a Nigerian, but God made it that way. And so because it's that way, we have every reason to remain where we are. It's been pretty difficult, I must confess. But we won't give up. We'll try to manage with what is available. This is not a time where you begin to live above your means, but it's to cut your coat according to the size of your cloth. Sometimes you don't pay for your size because your size might probably be really bigger than the cloth itself. So what do? You leverage on the size of the cloth so that you can at least be covered. So that's been the situation. It's been pretty difficult in this part of the world, Nigeria. But then we try to actually dispense some things that are not necessary and then make do with those things actually that are of vital importance. Excess lifestyle has to be reduced to the barest minimum. The basic needs of humanity is what you settle for now because of the very hard situation in the economy of the country, Nigeria.
It takes a lot of hard work for you to be relevant in my field. It takes a lot of mental and psychological upgrade for you to remain relevant. You really need to study, you really need to read, you really need to work hard for you to remain relevant in my field. So in the face of this economic crisis, you really need to love what you do. You really need to be passionate about what you do for you, not to let it deter you from doing what you know is right. I love my job. I'm passionate about what I do. So I do it irrespective of the challenges facing us. I do the hard work and stay positive, believing that things will get better by today.
That I am an actor, popular face, celebrity, whatever you want to call it, famous person, famous actor, does not insulate me from, the socioeconomic pressures prevalent in our country today. When there is fuel hike, it hits me as much as it hits any other person out there. Of course, you get to the filling station and there are people who will expect that you should just pay for you should pay for our phone. Today we know you now. We know they watch your film since. You don't even know whether now the last couple where who friends, family, distant relations, total strangers, people you don't even know. When they watch a film you made in 2000. I'm talking about some 24 years ago. If they watch it today now, either on the net or maybe a TV station as that same film, they believe that there is an amount of money that government has also given you, has paid you for that day that they have watched the movie afresh. So people just believe that we pick money on the ground, but to be honest, that is not true. Yes, the younger generation have found ways of accessing funds that are available online, to creatives. But in our time, we just relied on you make a movie, release it in the open market. If it sells, good luck. If it doesn't, try again, bro. But times are different, and like I always preach, each time I have the opportunity to speak with young creatives, we are not going back to yesterday. So the only thing you can do for yourself is to latch on to what the situation is today and see how you can also benefit from it. We are learning, whereas the younger generations have a lot to learn from us. We also have a lot to learn from them. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing, being an entertainer, if it does not translate to naira and kobo, then you have failed.
You know, generally around the world, across all professions, people choose how they live. I mean, you will have doctors who consult in 2 different hospitals. In England and America, you see people having 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes. Some lawyers outside litigation are also involved in estate management and things like that. And so the creative industry is not different. I knew early enough that I was not going to be making a lot of money as an actor. And this has nothing to do with the level of talent. Sometimes you just know that you need more. When I was getting older, almost 30 years, I knew that I'll probably never be able to survive successfully as an actor. So what did I do? I allowed myself to training. That was a time that I was visiting all over the place. I was in London International Film School to study aesthetics. I was in New York Film Academy to study directing. I was in Dutch Vale Television Training Center to study as a producer. I went to Harvard University on scholarship, for the things I did on international copyright administration. And so the aggregate of some of these things have given me the confidence to be able to work not only as an actor, not only as a producer, but in the last 5-6 years I've been very consistent as a consultant in the motion picture environment. And so my advice to people, when you can, and that's why I say subject yourself to training. You never know when all of these things, when any of these trainings can become important to you. Visit people. When I was very, very young as an actor, I was a procurement specialist servicing the American Embassy. Procurement is not part of the creative industry, but I was doing it. And that gave me some learnings in business. And so what I advise people, whatever it is you can lay your hands to do it. If you also think that you can live successfully working only as a writer, by all means write well and live successfully by it. Working as an actor, by all means act well and live successfully by it. But if you are like me, who will appreciate working across various stratas in the industry, then do it. And by learning, if you have enough learning, you can also teach. You can also facilitate programs and courses in the same industry where you are working as an actor, as a director, as a producer, and all of that. So these are my own survival strategies, and this is the advice I give to.
Interesting. I read scripts when I'm not shooting. I watch movies, I watch documentaries, but not every movie. I choose my type of movie, watch it. But I like to watch reality stuff. Go to True TV, watch people. I love imitating people, so I've been watching people and watching other people's movies. So available to me. I love watching TV and see these things. They help me because everybody that appears on the television is an actor.
It is sad we've lost people in the creative industry. It is very, very unfortunate we've lost beautiful souls, especially in the movie sector. God bless their souls. I don't agree people die more in the creative industry. I don't believe there's anything spiritual about the deaths in the creative industry. People die every day in our neighborhoods, in churches, in mosques. Our colleagues die, even our relatives die. If you get to the hospital, you see that people die. The difference between the creative industry and any other industry is the publicity around the creative industry. These people are in the public eye. They live their lives in our faces. So if anything happens to any of them, it becomes a public memo. So you can't say they die more. There are people who die and you never get to hear of it. I agree, few of them live recklessly, but you don't judge a whole industry with few people who have chosen to live their lives recklessly.
We need to tell ourselves the truth, because some of the things that happen to artists are also man-made. Spiritually, you cannot divorce man from spirituality, and the way that we are brought up, that will take us to a different lane, talking about African traditional religion. You begin to go or veer off some of the seriousness that but very important and very necessary issues. Yeah, I understand the feelings of people. Pray, watch and pray. But again, your habit also is another thing that you should watch. And in those days, how, before the coming of Christianity, how were we living together? We believed in spirituality. We believed in spiritualism. We believed that there is someone, there is something that is responsible for this earth. And even though we might give it different names, that is what is responsible for who we are and what we do every day. For me, it's a two-way thing. I believe that there is God. That spiritual you're talking about is God. And who is God? God is spirit. We do not see God, but yet we venerate to God. We believe in the that's a trinity. There is something that is in you that gives you certain thought and certain minds. Beyond keeping afloat, living a good life, and doing to others as you want others to do unto you, I do believe that avoiding certain dragnets, avoiding certain things can also exonerate you from some of the things that you do. We live in a world full of karma, that it is chemical. We also know that certain things you do might reverberate, it might also come back to you if you do not retrace your steps. And for example, there's nothing wrong about going to churches if you believe in, if you're a Christian, or going to worship, or going to ask the men of God. But also, let us ask ourselves, are we truthful to ourselves? Some of these things are man's humanity to man. They are also attached to certain people who want to take shine, or who are not happy with the progress of one. So much has happened in the industry that if we begin to discuss here, we might not be able to finish the topic. So, to ourselves be real, to ourselves be true, and the world is, our industry is a very big space that can contain everybody. Let nobody think that somebody is trying to take the shine off him or of her. It's important, and nobody has that right to take someone's life. There will always be a repercussion if one does that. But let us worship God in truth and honesty.
Been avoided. But because of our lifestyle, because of the way we see life, we tend to go all out, and begin to feel, yes, life is at our beck and call. Forgetting that the way you live your life sometimes, aside from when God says, okay, it's time for you to come back home, but it could enhance the longevity of your lifespan. How do I mean? It's within the movie industry, within the art, within the creative industry. We let so loose based on a lot of things we get ourselves involved with that are not really healthy for us, both financially, spiritually, physically. There are things we actually get ourselves indulging in the creative industry, more especially in the movie industry. We've been losing a lot of very potential souls that shouldn't go. It's been worrisome. It's been very, very worrisome. I think we need, in politics? What do we take into our system? What kind of associations do we keep? What kind of things do we do in our spare time? What drives our orientation these days? There you are, a star, yeah. But how do you manage your stardom so that it doesn't really cost you to begin to think you've arrived? I think by the time we begin to look into our lifestyle and begin to cause remedies to those things that actually are of no importance to us, remembering that you were just nobody before God picked you up and decided to make you a celebrity or a star. And there are things your body, your system abhors right from the very beginning. But because you become a star, I mean, you could go on drinking spade, you could go on doing all sorts of things that are very, very detrimental to your health. And you see this causing a lot of damages to our health. Our lifestyles is one of the very basic things we need to look into in the creative industry so that we can live well and live longer. It's been very sorrowful. You know, a lot of things. We've lost a lot of lives. That could have been averted or prevented. But because of our lifestyle, it's not really helping us. I just feel that we begin to look inward and I begin to know that there are things you have to actually disengage yourself from. There are places you need to stop attending or going to. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. There are places you're not supposed to get into that you get into. All in the name of stardom. You want to become a star. You do all sort of things that are injurious and detrimental to both your health and your lifespan. If we can look into these things and reduce some of these excesses, I think we will live longer and better.
Of course, that can happen anywhere, regardless of your industry, regardless of where you are, where you work. Ours is no different. It's just that our industry is a very popular one where everybody is known to the public. If we mess, people will hear about it, you know. Everything we do, because we're in the public eye, so anything we do, whatever we do, anything we do is news, you know. So it's just very unfortunate. It's just very unfortunate. I'm not going to attribute that to maybe lifestyle, because I've seen people who smoked as a chain smoker that died at the age of 90 or 90 and above, you know. I've seen people who are staunch, you know, drinkers, let me use that word, drinkers, and people that had a swear time, you know, and they lived over 80 before they died, you know, and so on and so forth. I've also seen people that never drank, never smoked, you know, lived, you know, casual lifestyle, and they died before 30. So you can't say because people died, you now want to attribute it to maybe their lifestyle. Even though somehow lifestyle can help one's, you know, health improve, but I don't think it's every time, because there are sportsmen that die on the field, you know, died of cardiac arrest. So what do we call that? So that is inevitable, you know. It's just very unfortunate. Just very unfortunate. So it has nothing to do with spirituality. It has nothing to do with spirituality. I don't know. For me, it has nothing to do with spirituality. I used to tell people that if we have good hospitals, you know, good healthcare centers, of course, people will not die easily. They'll be taken care of. If you're sick, you can easily, you know, run into any of the other hospitals or clinics, and you'll be taken care of with the little you have. But we don't do it. Now, if you ask them to introduce that, the first thing now they will tell you is that you don't pay tax. They will tell you now that you don't pay tax. But forget that. One of the reasons why people don't pay tax is because, well, we've not seen, you know, the benefit of those, tax payment. No, we've not. Unlike the Western world, where you see good infrastructural facilities everywhere. I tell you, you don't see that. You even beg to have light. You have when you build a house, you construct your own road. You get your own light, your source of light. You produce your own light, produce your own water, everything by yourself. So I think that's one of the major reasons people don't even like to pay tax. But that's by the way. If government can provide all those social amenities, it will reduce the amount of debt.
There's been an avalanche of debts, of course, in the creative industry. I think most of those debts are actually based on lifestyle. A lifestyle in the sense that they I used to have artists as friends, music artists who have been close to them because at the prime of their careers, they couldn't eat where regular people ate, so they had to go to VIP places to eat. And because they had to go to VIPs, they paid more for what they had to eat. And the pressures of living that lifestyle would create a problem because you have to, look for more than you would have naturally done to dress more, eat in secluded places, go in cars or not public transportations, goodwill from friends, and making sure you have your own car with tinted glasses and all that type of living. So it creates a problem for people who are the focal point of their fans, so they don't disappoint them or stay in a lesser standard according to their fans. So those pressures add up, and it tells on them. So it leads them to all sorts of lifestyles, taking lifestyle drugs, and going to drinking, binging a lot, and things which naturally put them under pressure to make more money, puts pressures on their health, with blood pressure, and of course that also leads to all sorts of complications. So it's I think a lot of them deal with a lot we don't know, and it's part of the reasons why they have problems in terms of how they deal with their health, So I think that's that.
When people talk about the rate of death in Nollywood, it amazes me. Death is an inevitable thing. People, once women keep giving birth, people must die. It's nature has balanced it, and that is the way it should be. In all walks of life, people die. The health caregivers, they die. Why Nollywood? It's why people are making Nollywood so peculiar. Is it because Nollywood, they are at the center stage, talking about the celebrities? Yeah. The truth is that when the time comes, it is an inevitable thing. The person, however, the issue is that somebody must die, whether it's by accident or by natural or by whatever occurrence. But the truth remains that in this life is a passage, and coupled with a lot of things, we don't have even when people die of carelessness, not only in Nollywood, it's all over, because of fake medical products, because of GMOs, because of like in the olden days, you can buy a tuber of yam. That yam will stay 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and still without getting spoiled. But these days, you buy a tuber of yam within 3 days, that yam has gone bad. So these are the issues. but the truth is that whatever that you see that is happening in Nollywood is not man-made, is not artificial. It is when the time comes. And when you even calculate the people that died this year, you find out that most of them are old, except from Ibu, who is in his early 60s, and Junior Pope. Even my father was not even up to 55 years. I think he died at the age of 54. So, but the issue is that it's our duty to always pray to God, ask God to give us long life so that we will live and eat the fruit of our labor. See our children enjoy the benefit of all the so-called blessings that Bible gave us. So I think that Nollywood is not a peculiar case. People die. Nigeria, people die. If you go to hospital, people are dying every day in outrageous number because of poor health care system, because of nonchalant attitude of the healthcare givers. Nigeria, if you don't have money, man, and some kind of sickness catches you, you are gone. So Nollywood is not an exception. It's a chain reaction. But people, Nigeria is a show nation. People wants to, victimize Nollywood because because of the celebrity, because of the whatever. But the truth is that all those things that people are pointing at, whether they say this one is all called, this one is this one is that. Man, it is, for me, it's rubbish. When the time comes, we all will exit this planet Earth, one day or the other.
Well, first and foremost, I think the people in the industry should come together first and foremost, and I appreciate that they are together. Then they should draw a very strong regimen of medical response to what is going on, because most of these deaths are careless driven.
Okay.
And they are all most of them are avoidable deaths. So I think when they come together, they should be in a position to look at all these things, and they should create a very vibrant insurance policy. They should set standards. I mean, for these young men to have gone to the river without life jackets and all that, to go and shoot without anybody knowing, when they are going to do that kind of program, the leadership of the Actors Guild or whatever and associations should have an idea. They should send a proposal to them. They will look at it and send observers to find out whether these institutional checks are being followed. There's no reason why somebody should go there, stay there, and the guy who is operating that thing should put on the earpiece. And everybody was distracted. So these are indices of madness. In an environment where lawlessness is the order, it is also unlawful to be law-abiding. So that the environment, the culture, the spirit of the season, they have legitimized extreme recklessness. So what they are going to, they have to come together, because I know that there are medical-minded people in the industry who will advise them to come together. They must look at their lifestyle. They must do things that are appropriate to stay alive, because the most important thing is to stay alive. In Nigeria, what is going on now is that we have witnessed the Buhari regime. A lot of souls died. Now, a lot of people are also dying. So the most important thing is you must do something that will make you stay alive. So how do you stay alive? You must adopt those habits, do those things that will make you stay alive. And you can't rule out the essence of this society. That is key. I don't share that view that there are too many deaths in the industry. And the reason is that people die every day all over the world, every minute maybe. Why it has become something of a concern is that when someone dies in the creative industry, because people are usually in the minds of the public, people are known, and so when anything happens, whether for good or for bad, it gets out easily. I mean, lawyers die, doctors die, engineers die all over the world, farmers, peasants. People die every day, everywhere in the world, particularly in Nigeria. So no, there are not so many deaths in the industry. But more importantly, it's the second aspect of the perception of the people. I do not know if it is peculiar to the motion picture environment or the creative industry. But once you do not adopt proper lifestyle changes, something is definitely going to go wrong. Once you take too much alcohol, once you eat too much food, once you overindulge, once you do less of exercise, once you don't have discipline across board of your life. If, for instance, you're managing high blood pressure, you don't take your drug, so something is definitely wrong somewhere. So it is not about the industry. So this happens in every other industry. So once you do not do some of those things, you are definitely going to get a hit back. So the concern now is so that people can have the understanding and knowledge that you must cut down at some certain level of your life, so that you can continue to live well and hopefully live all the entire life that God has written for you.
In good health, and that takes care of yourself. Now, the next issue is certain deaths that has happened, which ordinarily are supposed to be prevented. There must be beyond the insurance that people talk about. Before any actor gets into the river, for example, you must wear your gadgets. You must have things to prevent just in case there is any problem. We should learn to do that. It's not something that we should just take for granted. Unfortunately, Junior Pope's death was a death too many that was or would have been preventable. So rest in peace. I hope the industry learns from that, and producers as well as actors themselves should always insist, know those things, some of the risks that we take that you're not supposed to take. There are ways that it can be done. There are a lot of ways, millions of ways that certain things you have to do as an actor, and you think that might be, that might cause your death, then you have to prevent it, discuss it, and do it the other way. So for me, perchance why the industry has been on a heavy searchlight is because of who we are as artists. A lot of people die every day that people do not know. Lawyers die, market women die, old men die, young people, millions of people die. But because we are on the searchlight, we are always on the screen, and people ours always make that kind of noise. People will begin to imagine what's happening to you people in the movie industry. People are dying, there are no good care and all that. I disagree with them. But all the same, I thank them for sympathizing and empathizing. But let's also, one word, the word is enough for the wise. Let's do the right thing. And then the rest thing is God. Our living habits, you've talked of living habits, matters what you eat, what you drink, and those who smoke, you cut it off. There's no need, there's no gain in smoking. There are some of those bad things that we do. You need to advise yourself now, and you stop it. Maybe as a young person, you are doing that, but now is the time to cut them off. Any bad habits, cut it off, and you see yourself living a good life and living well too.
Yes, few people in the industry live recklessly, but there are people in the same industry who are big on lifestyle and wellness. People in the industry who stand for everything health. You see, people have built emotions around these creatives, especially the actors. They they've built so much emotion that it affects the way they reason and their judgment. Calling on the public to pray for the creative industry is not a bad idea. Calling on the religious leaders to pray for them is not a bad idea. We all need prayers. Every industry, every institution where you have human beings, we need prayers to progress. What I don't agree with is saying that every death in the creative industry is spiritual, every sickness is spiritual. No, it is not spiritual. All the obituary posters we'll see in our neighborhoods on television, those people are not in the creative industry. Every industry bury their own.
Permit me to take exception to your choice of words here when you say there's been an avalanche of death, particularly in the movie sector of the creative industry. That may not be entirely true. Yes, in the last couple of months, we've experienced much more than ever before an unusual succession of cases of deaths amongst our colleagues. Fortunately so. Yeah, but that does not make it peculiar to Nollywood. People die elsewhere, to be very honest. People die elsewhere. All those who are, running with those narratives of, hey, there's something happening in Nollywood. Why are people dying in Nollywood? Some of them, in their families, people die. Nobody knows. Some of them were in their places of work, people die. The peculiar situation with Nollywood is that these are popular people. So anything that happens around them, becomes public knowledge in a matter of minutes. So I think that's where the issue are. Yes, I agree that it's never been this, the way the thing just happen in quick succession. It's actually baffling. But if you also check out, some of these persons were in the hospital for a long while before they succumbed to the cold hands of death. Except are very promising, young, vibrant superstar actor who lost his life, fortunately, in the line of duty, the River Niger. Others, they never hold because anybody will go die for 60 something. It's a very young man. Nobody will hold like that, but some of them had, terminal health issues. And they fought the very good fight. They fought. Fortunately, gave up. So please, I think it is not right to continue to propagate that insidious narrative that there is something happening in Nollywood. Someone actually called me the other day. They hear that people enter cults for Nollywood. They keep them on the cults now. What they promise the cult people, they give them again. You follow them, go the initiation. Were you there? The kind of things people say about us. Sometimes you begin to wonder, now this same Nollywood women though. So I believe that, like everywhere else, we need prayers at a time like this, because the world we live in is controlled by both physical and spiritual forces. Yeah, we sure do need the prayers of Nigerians, Nothing God not fit do, nothing we prayer not if he do. But please, don't make it look like one thing we have for Nollywood. Now he make people they die. That people they die bent towards the conversation. Now you know they sound well at all. They sound well at all. People, like I said, people die elsewhere. Even as we speak now, in the banking industry, in the medical profession, in law, they lose their colleagues too. But because we don't know, you will now make it look like, everywhere else, people know they die, only for Nollywood. That one is not correct. That one is not correct. As we speak now, there are people who are mourning the death of a loved one, the other people probably at some funeral. All those ones are human beings too. They belong to one profession or the other. Thank you.
Let me answer it this way. It is a good thing to be spiritual. It is a good thing to pray. And I enjoin all of us to do that. We are creators. And the Father of creation, we are directly linked to the Father of creation because we create things. So yes, the God quotient exists in our industry. However, for people talking about spiritual concerns and challenges, demons in the industry, it's absolute balderdash. It's uncalled for, it's non-existent, it does not hold any place in any form of reasoning. And so people talk of cleansing, doing the deliverance, it's all rubbish. But I insist that people, you must at least identify the God that you serve, pray, and live well. Come together to pray, come together to worship God, come together for all manner of intercessions, but not defining the industry as being for demon. That's total rubbish. So that has no place in my own sense of reasoning, and nobody should actually listen to this kind of rubbish talk.
To my ardent followers, my advice to you guys is, in everything you do, be moderate about it and let God direct you properly. Don't be what you are not, or don't try to be what you are not. Don't try to be like that other person. Everybody has his grace. Everybody's got his calling. Everybody's got his timing. When it's not your time, wait for it. It's going to come. Surely, there's a time appointed for every man. Once God says this is your time, nobody can thwart it. But all you need to do is just wait for your time. Be moderate in everything you do. Above all, let God reign supreme in everything you do. In everything you do, let God be the head. Let Him direct your affairs. Because the Bible says the steps of the righteous are ordered by God. And imagine when God orders your footsteps aright, you certainly cannot make mistakes. You will be on top. So I just advise you, in everything you do, moderation should be your key word.
What I want to tell people, the young ones, is to take life easy, one at a time. So what I'm advising people is one day at a time. You don't need to listen to what people are saying, even when your mates are ahead of, even when your mates are ahead of you, just take it easy. Know that one day, once you're in the program of God, even some people, they hammer at their old age, Yeah, so you can't just say, the important thing is be in the program of God. Align yourself, what is God's plan for you. Once you are in that program of God, be positive, be always believe in yourself, always give your best, don't cut corners, because if you, I learned that it takes 1,000 lies to cover one lie, but truth is as bright as the day, so let's just keep it real, let's just follow our hearts, follow our passion, and do the right thing at the right time, because it amazes me when I go into the social media network, I see some youths talking about suffering. At age of 20, you say you have suffered. What rubbish statement is that? So when you get to our age, what will you do? All these boys that are doing money ritual, trying that were caught, trying to kill their parents, or the one who have killed their parents, talking about that they are this, they are that. When they are asked what is they say, I've been suffering. This is what is trending at the moment, but the truth is that all those people, watch them, their lives are full of shit. Their lives, they are not, there's nothing to emulate about them. All they want is money, money, money. But think of legacy that you will leave, so that even when you are gone, people will still remember you, and remember you for good, not just for any kind of rubbish talk or side talks. I think so. Let's just keep it real, and keep watching McNuel TV. Your one-stop dive on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a large followership on social media, but I think I do have quite a bit on Facebook. I have over 5,000 to 6,000 followers or more. Friends, so I think I have more followers, probably 10,000 followers or something. But for my followers, I would always only ask them to be more African and be more traditional in the approach. And being traditional, it means you have to be conservative. In terms of conservative, you have to preserve whatever cultures which actually give you identity. The world is a global village, but in as much as it is a global village, you have to be sure of what types of messages you ingest and you practice, which fit your lifestyle, fits your culture, so you don't go too far away into newer forays and don't know how to live, the type of lives that those people have lived for centuries or millennia. So I think people should, especially the women, should try to be more traditional and less Western, because that's what's going to keep them happier in the long term. So besides that, I don't think there's anything else. Any other thing I have to put in terms of giving advices, which I'm very bad at. I don't know how to give them, because I think people already have their minds made up most of the time when they make certain decisions. So whatever you have to say, it usually doesn't really add so much, doesn't add so much breaks as to what they want to do. And once you start being so insistent, they tend to stay away from you. So I just believe everyone should do what's safe, do what makes them happy, but at the same time they should learn to sacrifice They should learn that pain is part of the growth process of nature. Everything has to go through pain. Everything has a sacrifice, and everything has to apply time before it blossoms into whatever it has to blossom to. So once you apply those 3 principles in your life, you must succeed. Alright, so that's all I have to say. And I wish you guys best of luck out there.
It takes so much hard work. It takes willpower. It also takes being level-headed and positive for you to remain positively relevant, especially at this time when the economy is not smiling. It's difficult for you not to see all the wrong things. It's difficult for you not to do the wrong things. It's difficult to do the right things now with what the economy is saying. So it takes so much willpower to say no, and it takes love and passion for what you do to say no to the wrong things. So what has helped me is the fear of God and the love for what I do. I love what I do, so I do my best to put in the work. I do my best. I keep a very positive mindset. I hope and I keep praying that things will get better and things will better. So for everyone in the industry, I keep saying, in my industry, I keep saying, just do the work, keep doing the hard work. Tomorrow will definitely be better.
Yeah, it is very, very important that artists should, from time to time, go for checkups. They should, from time to time, go for checkups. I have already done that for so many years now. Every 3 months, actually, beyond and besides checking up your malaria status or typhoid, which for me is the only sicknesses that I have. I also do a complete, maybe after every 6 months, I do a complete, test of my kidney, my heart condition, my liver, everything. Talking about ECG, go check everything about you. That way, you'll be able to find out on time if any of your organs are weak, and then you'll be able to actually make amends. It is very, very important beyond people going to pay for, they are quick actually to go and pay for belong to one group or the other, one medical group or insurance policy to ensure about your life. But health is wealth, as people say. I would also advise my colleagues, don't shy away from it, no matter how busy you are. That is, even the more you are busy, the more you need to take a break and then time yourself. Yes, money is very good and necessary. People are paid into your account and you accept jobs. But let me tell you something, if you drop dead, that same day you're dropping dead, those people who are asking for job will get another person to replace you. So why not be in good health, and that takes care of yourself. Now the next issue.
Well, coping with the present very harsh, and I must say that I've been around for a while. I'm over 50 years, so 50 years not be my mind. I've been around for a while, so I can tell you that it's never been this bad. I don't know what happened before I was born, but since I became an adult and have been able to document, take a record of the socio-economic trajectory over the years, I can tell you for free that it has never been this bad. When you talk of hunger today, you don't even need to look for it. Every face you see on the street, for every 10 people you see, you can see 7, 8, that without anybody telling you, without any prodding, you can tell all by yourself that yes, this person is hungry. Yes, this person is going through a lot. it's tough for everybody. But I was raised to be very contented. I am not pressured, can never be pressured. What I can't afford, yes, I appreciate it, I celebrate it when I can, but nothing would move me to want to get what I know I cannot afford, because that's the shortest route to cutting corners that can get you into trouble. If you know this thing is beyond your income and you make it a target as your next achievement, what it means is that you also would have to look for underhanded means of achieving that feat, and that could be things that are illegal, which could get you into trouble. I am at every time very satisfied with what I have. So because I will not allow what I see, my friends, my colleagues, my brothers, my sisters, what they have, whatever I have achieved, to pressure me into doing something that is untoward. I'm at peace with myself. Yes, I love to try to motivate myself with the achievements of other people, but it ends with motivating myself, not to begin to, see this person do this, let me say I don't fail. No. What you consider failure may be someone else's prayer point. We all cannot be Dangote. There are those who just want to be, satisfied with being able to put food on the table. They're able to handle the commitments around them, around members of their family. It is time to pay school fees. They are not running from pillar to post, and that for them is massive achievement. Of course, there are also those who want to own the world, and you can't blame them for it. But we all cannot be the same. Leave me to be the sole assessor, the sole determinant of what the parameters of success are for me. They may be different for you. So I cope by not allowing myself to be pressured by what I see others do, or what I see other people brandishing. Yeah, I see you today driving a G-Wagon, and the next day I want to make a G-Wagon my next target, knowing full well that I probably cannot afford the steering of a G-Wagon. That's already a recipe for trouble, and I wasn't formed that way.
Somehow, at some certain level in your practice, you must have developed some values for yourself. The values that you are known for, that you are known by, that can give you some measure of respectability. People should open themselves up to the information space. People should open themselves up to trainings, all manner of trainings, all manner of learnings. At this age, at this level of my practice, I've had perhaps some of the best trainings around the world, around the globe, in the creative industry. But tomorrow, when you talk about training, so long as it's training in the environment, Count Francis Onwochie, I'll be open to it, and I'll benefit from it. When you learn, you cannot learn and go down. You learn and go up. You either stay where you are, or at least you go up. Perhaps I'll just summarize also, and I think I've mentioned it before. Lifestyle changes are very important. Lifestyle changes are very important. You can see at the stadium, National Stadium, for exercises. Some of my colleagues are also here, and we do this. I must say this, it's actually important. Every Saturday, I see some members of the Actors Guild who come here to do exercises. Sometimes I join them, but because I do weekdays, I may not come all weekends. Weekends, I try to swim whenever I can. So these are very important lifestyle changes. When you do it, you will know within yourself that you are well, and health is very important in the course of living. So with that, I say thank you very much for this session, this interviews. I'm glad to have been your guest.
My advice to people, especially my followers, well, my people, do what is right. Eat healthy. You can just eat right. Don't overfeed yourself. Then do what is right. If you have passion for anything, go after it. Go after your passion. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Go after your passion. If you know you're good with your hands, you can construct something, you can go learn it. Just improve on it, and trust me. And now, the emergence of social media, you can even use social media to help yourself. Create more values for yourself, or add more values, to yourself, and they begin to. It's free, so you begin to use it to let the world know what you're doing and who you are, and that is it. That's it. I love you guys. This interview. I love you guys. Just take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourselves. I'm Chinedu Ikedieze. I love you. Take care. Good night. I love you guys.